Hi everyone, it's Colin Powers from the Boquetriver Association with a little tutorial on how to figure out if your property and house is impacted by the recent remapping of Essex County's flood map by FEMA. So starting at the beginning, you'll go to an email such as this one, click the link, and it will load the map that you just saw in front of you. Now you can either zoom in using your mouse scroll wheel to the part of the map where you live, or it might be easier to simply type your address, as I am here, of my own house in Wadhams, and wait for the search result to populate, click that, and the map will take you straight to your property. What you see here is the property outline in light blue, and you see the river flood area in a green overlay. Now, what you need to understand about this overlay is this represents the 1% probability flood, sometimes called the 100-year flood. Now, we've had a number of these so-called floods in the last 25 years, so note that that is a probabilistic estimation, 1% probability that it could occur in any given year. And the reason this flood zone is important is that FEMA requires that if your house is inside that zone, that your mortgage holder, your bank, may require you to have flood insurance to protect your property. Also, if your house is in that zone, FEMA will not provide federal assistance money in the case of a disaster if you don't have that flood insurance. So these are key elements to understand when you're looking at this map. Couple quick notes. When you click on the river flood zone, you're going to see this pop up here. Sometimes it sits right in front of the information you want to see on the map, and you can click this little rectangle icon to attach it to the right side of the screen. Get it out of your way. The other is that when you're clicking on your property, you will see that that pop-up screen changes from your tax information here. If you're clicking an area that shares both, you're going to see in the upper right corner of that one of two. By using these two little arrows, you can click back and forth between the tax information, your property information, and the flood zone information. And that's really helpful if you're trying to really nail down if your structure is in the flood zone. And I will note here that while my yard, I'll highlight my property again, has property down here on the riverbank, my house here is not in that green flood zone. Therefore, I'm not expected by FEMA to purchase flood insurance for my home. I can do so voluntarily, of course, which would protect me if the river rises beyond the 100-year zone. I'm going to quickly show you another example just down the road at one of my neighbors, and you can scroll around the map as I am using your mouse. These folks have a lot of field that will be inundated in that 1% probability flood. But the thing to notice here is that their house remains above that water line. Therefore, although their barns and their driveway would be inundated, technically they do not need to purchase flood insurance. However, they may have to provide proof of that in the form of a survey or an engineering certificate to convince their bank that they do not need to purchase that flood insurance. And of course, for those who don't have a mortgage with a federally backed bank, that requirement may not exist at all. So that's the quick rundown on how to use the tool. If you have further questions, you're welcome to email me. My email address is here at the top, colin@boquetriver.org. Hope you found this helpful.